Welcome to Be the Message, episode 7. I am Angel Simmons, your Miss Revolutionary Purpose World, formerly Miss Midwest. And my platform is Be the Message, Suicide Prevention and Mental Wellness. You are here on a very exciting day. It is a very exciting month because it is June and it is the Queen's birthday month. Ah, there are so many events going on in June, but I mean, that's the most important one. But I'm also rocking, I don't know if it's backwards or not, but I am kicking off Juneteenth week. I know it's Saturday, I don't care. Free ish since 1865, kicking off Juneteenth week. Um, it's a lot. It's a lot going on in the city. I hope you are safe. I hope you have power. I hope you have not had to throw your food out because food is very important to me. I know it's important to you. I hope you have air conditioning wherever you are. I hope your lights are on. It's a lot going on in the city. There are trees down everywhere. Street lights are still out, been out since Wednesday morning, Tuesday night. It is ridiculous. I hope you live in a ward where your alderman gives a hoot about the citizens and residents in that area because I have seen, I am not. I am not in that area. There's still trees in the same exact place they were Tuesday night. So I wish better for you and wellness for your family and your finances wherever you are. Now, you are here on episode 7 of Be the Message. And the purpose of this podcast is to shine light and give a voice to causes and people that are making necessary and significant change today in their fields. Uh, all my friends are famous. You know that. So I have to have my friends on when we are talking about the message because they are always bringing it in their field. Okay. So today, as we are paying honor to Juneteenth, and we are also paying honor to Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, I had some really probing questions I wanted to give out because I have a heart for creatives. I've been a creative the majority of my life. All of my friends are creatives in their own respective areas. Most of them are musically inclined. So I had to bring that to the table for June, for the Queen's birthday, of course. So today we are with actor, performer, member of the Chicago Modern Orchestra Project, member of the Chicago Sinfonietta, and the Indianapolis Chamber Orchestra. He's a member of many other orchestras and, and musical organizations. He is a world class principal concert bassoonist. How many of you know a bassoonist? How many of you know what a bassoon is? Let's start there. Okay. We are bringing to the message Mr. Lamar Carey Curtis. Yes. Here.
Hey, everybody.
Ah, yes. Excellent. Excellent. I am excited.
Hey,
I'm
how are you?
excited to have you here.
Oh my goodness. This is my first podcast ever. So
Oh, stop.
uh I'm like, what am I doing? I don't know. Just look at the screen and talk, answer questions.
Hey, that is the gist of it. We're just having a conversation. We're having a chat. I know you, and I know you from other places and spaces. What did I leave off from that introduction? What else? What else is on your repertoire?
I well, just a minor correction. So I am the principal bassoonist for Chicago Modern Orchestra Project. I'm the sub bassoonist for Chicago Sinfonietta, Indianapolis Chamber Orchestra, Arkansas Symphony. I play with the South Florida Symphony in Miami. So I'm all over the place. Arkansas Symphony. So that's been a lot of fun. Uh,
Okay.
with South Bend, so I am all over the place, and that is a very good thing. Because 6 years ago, we were like, well, will we ever be able to get more than two people in one space ever again?
And
So,
6 years ago sounds like such a long time, but the effects of the pandemic are still affecting us today, relationships today, kids today, teaching today, how we interact and socialize today. We will never forget that time. Now, for those of us who love isolation, we were in a different space.
uh,
We were at home drinking tea and cocoa, with the lights down low and the candles on and the music playing, and sipping wine and doing video calls. That's
right,
what we were doing. We weren't leaving the house. We were Instacarting
right.
and Uber eating and enjoying the fact that the park was empty when we
Right.
wanted to go and take a walk. But mentally, it had different effects on a lot of people, including those of us who enjoy isolation, because now we want more of it.
Mm. I was gonna say, am I not doing well? Because I was so it was scary at first, like going through those first, couple of months, not knowing what's gonna happen, like day after day after day. But I'm just like, I'm sitting here, I'm like, I'm gonna go through everything on Netflix. Oh, okay, I guess we got another week, so here come Paramount Plus. So I was just
I think
been,
that's when most of us got
oh,
streaming services that we did not have. We didn't have those channels. I didn't have Netflix.
I had none of that.
I didn't
I
have what is this? What is this we're on? Amazon Prime. I didn't have that.
I had never ordered a single thing online before. Not a single thing had I ever ordered online. So I'm like, that just seems a little bit crazy. You just put your credit card number in, and you tell them to deliver something to you. I'm like, hold
Shop till
on.
you drop.
Okay, let me do just something like $20 first. Next thing you know, like, fool, you do not have to order something every day.
That's when we discovered Sheen.
No, that's when I discovered Charmin. I was just like, if I can't get it over at Target, this is amazing.
Somebody
So
needs to bring it to my house, and that's it.
yeah, and
And I would always go for Sam's
uh,
because they always sent like free, either free delivery or free service fees or whatever. And
mhm,
they had the highest. They had the
uh,
highest charges. I'm like, well, as soon as I get another discount, Sam's, bring me a watermelon, a chicken, case of Canada Dry, and listen, and they would just drop it on the doorstep, and you had to go there. And I'm on the second floor, like, what did I going
oh
down with
no,
my empty bags? Like, I'm gonna need to make
mm-mm.
2 trips. Just bring me a chicken. That's all I'm saying. I'm not
That's
going
all
out.
I want is a chicken, a
Oh
whole
my goodness.
chicken.
I'm not going outside. And I was doing recipes every week. I did something else. I was posting pictures online.
Uh,
I started doing Herbalife around the same time. So now I'm working out in the house. I'm drinking shakes 3 times a day. We were virtual with our kids,
okay,
for Boys and Girls Club. So we had club online. We didn't have to go out. It was wild getting a full-time check,
right.
uh, in pajama bottoms. Listen. Business on the top, biker shorts at the bottom. That's what we do.
Pajama bottoms. I was
We
like, okay,
weren't
I
leaving
need
the
y'all to
house.
pay attention here. Up, that's all you need to
Look up
see.
here. Button up, earrings, makeup, jogging pants.
Ain't got naked sock on.
Socks. We wear no socks. Come
Like they
on.
can't smell me through the screen, can
It
they?
was a time. It was a time, but Pilates every night, sleeping 8 hours. It was such a different world for those of us with different personalities.
Yeah.
But for us creatives,
Mhm.
it was a time to recharge. Um, but for other creatives, it was hell finding work.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was hell finding work. So, as a traveling, well sought after
Mm.
performer and musician, How did that affect your pockets?
Oh, in the worst possible way. So you know that I was doing the acting, the touring, performing in different orchestras around the area. So everything just stopped. All of a sudden, obviously, just everything was stopped. And I was sitting here just like wondering when when will this end? Because we were getting it a week at a time. So looking back on it now, we had no idea what was going on week to week to week to week.
Mhm.
But all I know is that what when are we going back to work? When is the world gonna open up again? We have to be separated, and everything that I do, I have 50 to 100 people around me, whether it's on stage with a symphony or being on set. You got 200 people around you there. If
Mhm.
you're filming something, whether it's a commercial or an episodic,
Because that's
um,
what we were doing. We were doing
that,
background on
yeah.
every show that
Mhm.
was filming in the city, and then everything was halted.
And then everything was halted. Now, I got a little bit lucky because I had my, three little co-starring roles, leading up to that point. So, um, the residuals were good because people were staying home watching TV. I was just like, oh, okay, I'll take this. Okay, I can eat.
Hmm.
So thank goodness for SAG-AFTRA and Dick Wolf Productions and let's see who else. Fox was in there somewhere, so I got
Hmm.
to eat a little bit like during that time. But everything musically was just done. Everything musically was done. Uh, we were doing videos, remotely where we would, have a click track. We would play things separately, and somebody would marry it together for us. So it was it was an interesting time because as a musician you want to be in the same room, you want to be getting the same vibe, you want to be able to hear um, your cohorts correctly. When you
Hmm.
record something and then you put it online, it could be sharper, flatter, like the pitch center may be off, or you know we made it work. We made it work and we got stuff done, but it was tough. It was tough. And then also just before the pandemic began, don't forget we had that really bad bus crash on tour that
Hmm.
December 19th, right
Hmm.
before all of this happened. So
Hmm.
not only did I lose the tour that I'd done for 25 years and it was never going to go up again, I had to try to figure out, like, how am I going to fill those dates in the future? How am I going to fill those dates in the future when the world does open back up again?
Yeah.
So it was a lot to take in. At first, oh, I was like a pig in poo. I'm just like, I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna eat my ice cream, I'm gonna
You
watch the
said a pig
TV.
and poo.
I am gonna sit there, enjoy every single bit of this, and just enjoy my best life because I was used to like just like going, 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 going.
Hmm.
So
It was a reset.
yeah, yeah, it was a
Reset.
huge reset, and especially with what we do, like you're doing the pageants, you're doing the fundraising work, and all the wonderful stuff that you do, and going out and doing the
Right.
sets.
No more runway.
There is okay,
No more conventions. No more the Shy Empire, Chicago Fire MP. Nothing gone. No more
nothing.
easy. No, nothing. It
Yeah,
was now what?
yeah, yeah, and it's just like after a while, when we were months into it, and then there was that holy crap, when are we going to see an end to this? That's when I was just like, ugh,
And
okay.
how were you able to um I got two questions in one really.
Mm,
Um how were you able to move after that without getting stuck in, oh my God, now what? Versus being creative and finding something else. Was it a something else, or was it a just we got to see when this thing opens? Because I know you work, so I know
mhm.
you had other income, but did you have it at that time,
Oh no.
or was it strictly performing?
Strictly performing. It was strictly for performing for over 10 years. So I was very lucky in that aspect. Now, after the tour ended, and I pretty much just stopped acting. At some point, I will go back to it, but when I had to pivot coming back into the world as the world reopened, I had to figure out what I was going to do differently, how I was going to recreate myself, how am I going to rebrand myself, how am I going to start over again? Where does that begin? So it during the pandemic, I ended up buying like a new instrument. Okay, so that helped me to want to create things. So I'm like, why are you buying a brand new
Mhm.
instrument in a world where you may not ever get to see another stage again? And then I started to think about, okay,
Mm.
what was technology like for medicine back in the, early 1900s when we were having a situation like this? Well, guess what? The world did open back up again. We are better technologically advanced. So at some point, we got to come out of this. So I started thinking in that aspect. I didn't know when it was going to happen, but I'm thinking we've come out of something like this before. We're going to come out of it again. And when we do, you better be ready. You better be ready because there are a lot of people that quit. There are a lot of people that were just
It was
they'd had
hired.
they
Hmm.
retired because there was nothing left. So I was ready to fill all those voids. So whether it had been in sales or out to conventions, I started to do those things. So I added conventions, I added sales, I added online private lessons to my repertoire of stuff to do.
Hmm.
Played on a country album. I did part of a score for an independent film that won the Golden Lion at the Cannes Film Awards. So it was it it's figuring out what to do because when I was a kid, I'm pretty much a self starter and an autodidact. So I learned things like by doing and by observing. So this was going somewhere, but I had to change everything and just be ready for what was going to come up next. And I had no idea what that was going to be. And I was so fortunate after purchasing the instrument, I got to was risen to the level of a brand ambassador. That's never
For the instrument.
meant so.
Yes.
First,
I love to see my friends do that.
it was
Yeah.
uh, it was absolutely crazy because I'm like, who the heck am I? Who the heck am I? I'm just like the little kid that started teaching himself to play at 10 years old and finally got my first like European tour at 16 and just like, all of these things come to I didn't take the straight route to like where all of this leads to, but I've walked backwards working real hard into a lot of opportunities.
Was this a little imposter syndrome?
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Because the first thing I'm gonna tell you that there's be careful your words. There are two types of bassoonists in this world.
Okay.
One, gonna be incredibly kind, helpful, wants to work with you, just really like good individual, solid, like, salt of the earth. The second kind, if I see you in a crosswalk, I'm gonna press on the gas. Evil, just wanting to fight, catty, just because they're at a certain level, you
I don't
don't.
think that's just bassoonists.
No, 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 no. It's not. It's
Performers in general.
it is performance in general. So it's funny that even despite you know running into some of that bad energy, that doesn't mean that I need to change who I am. That's actually the energy you're bringing to the table. Mine is the exact opposite. So I'm gonna keep it moving. I'm gonna
Now
keep it moving.
I assume this is just me on the outside. I assume because I grew up in dance and it was a little different.
Uh
There
huh.
were those that were trained
Uh huh.
who had been in schools and with master teachers and master classes since the age of 3.5.
Right.
And there were those of us that started dancing in the hood and
Right.
ended up dancing in school and ended up on somebody's stage, and it was a very different treatment from those who were classically trained or
Hmm.
traditionally trained to those who were just talented and we just got it. I assume it is very similar in the musical genre for those
Absolutely.
who were classically trained versus those who learn by ear and could sit
Uh-huh.
down and pick it up and just do it. I know pianists, I know guitar players, I know trumpet players who just
Right.
got it. They just got it, and they
Right.
just used it, and it was the thing that just carried them to stages across the country. And
Right.
there's different treatment.
Hmm.
Tell me about the different treatment from the people who
Oh,
had the training and the money and went to the schools. Um,
let me. Oh, I can tell you all about that. Uh, I was born the son of a sharecropper, and people treated me so unfairly. It started from I would say, from the very beginning. And even though you take your lessons for, you get your, help from your band teacher and all that other good stuff, there was nobody that knew how to play bassoon. So I was teaching myself while, learning in the band room. He's teaching flutes, clarinets, all this other good stuff. He doesn't know anything about, bassoon. So I'm like taking out recordings, listening to them. I got the music to go with them. This is how I learned. So when
mhm,
I started to get better and start to, be noticed for my talents, I I was very fortunate, and there's a really ugly side of this as well. So I was doing really well in my bands in Flint, Michigan. That's where I grew up. And then, I was plucked to go down and play at the university, like youth ensembles at University of Michigan. So I played their band and orchestra. So I was fortunately good enough to be the first chair. I had never taken a private lesson before. I'm self-taught. So
first
when I
chair
get,
is a big deal.
it's a lot of stress. It's a lot of stress. And you playing all the notes. Like there's no more like pa, pa. It's like it's stuff all over the place.
Mhm.
Now, when I got there to the ensembles, the other bassoonists that grew up in Grosse Pointe, the Bloomfield Hills, the very rich areas, they have teachers. Um, it was, oh, so who do you study with? And then they want to
Oh,
see like what your bassoon look like, what brand it is. And I'm like, it's just like a raggedy brand.
because you have to qualify,
You have to
not
qualify.
just to be there, but with them, you have to
Right.
qualify.
And so like I had to like justify my existence. Now, one of the most embarrassing things, but now that I look back on it, it wasn't embarrassing at all. I would tell them like I don't take private lessons. I
I
I
teach them.
taught myself to play. And then that made it even worse. It was just like, how can you be beating me?
The
And take,
audacity.
like the private lessons of blah 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 blah. So let's get 100. I was so proud of the fact that I was able to get to that point without private lessons, but I knew that I wanted private lessons. I needed them. I just couldn't afford them. And there was nobody in my town. So I had to make it work. I just had to make it work. So it eventually got to a point where there was such derision and such like ugliness that, when I go down to Ann Arbor, it was, the whispers, he's from that nigger band in Flint. Now, I come back home to Flint to play in our band and say, oh, he think he all that because he go down there to play with them white people in Ann Arbor. And I'm just like, whoa, 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 whoa. I just want to play bassoon. I don't know what this is about over here or what this is about over here. I'm not trying to be involved like with either one of those things, but it made me feel a certain kind of way.
Hmm.
It made me feel a certain kind of way. So it's like, I couldn't be accepted by my own people. And then I couldn't be accepted for the people where I just wanted to play in orchestras. I just wanted to play classical music. And it's like people will remind you that you're black when you show up, but it's a very strange thing. When I show up and I walk into the room, I just assume I belong on stage. So there's that. I don't notice the ugliness until they start to show it to me, or they say certain
Mhm.
things during a rehearsal. Well, that's not Mozart's style. I'm just like, well, actually, it is. You just have to play it. Okay, then. So that was Mozart's style. Little improvisation never killed anybody.
Mm.
But yeah, it's there's always been like this thing in classical music where you are in a field where people will let you know they don't feel you belong there, but I don't care. This is what I want to do, so this is what I'm going to do. And a lot of people try to stand in your way, they try to block you, they will say this, that, or the third about your reputation. But I'm like, nope, they heard me last week. They heard what I can do. I've met this individual. So people try to like throw you under the bus or make you into like uh, something less than. There was also too. So we're talking about the 80s, 90s now. So there was always the whole like I got here because of affirmative action, or I got here. The only reason I'm here is because I'm black. So, it was a lot of that stuff too. So
I'm
you
glad you
carry
brought that up.
carry that with you because even though I wasn't classically trained, I did end up getting into, um, thank God, one of the best art schools on the planet.
Mhm.
So when I got there, I went from, just being a self-taught kid to playing with the best like young artists from literally all over the world. So they came from all over the planet. So I was introduced to a world of a bunch of nerds like myself. They were from different parts of the planet, whether it be Venezuela, Africa, Switzerland, China, Japan, Saudi Arabia. These are all the kids that I ended up going to school with at this art school. And I've never thrived faster and met so many other like nerds and like wonderful people and outcasts. So that helped me to realize that, I'm in the place I'm supposed to be. I'm in the place I'm supposed to be. Just go to the right people. Go to the right people.
Can you address the need? And I think a lot of what you said just did, but the need for DEI in our musical industry, in our orchestras, and classical music in particular. And I kind of jokingly asked at the beginning, how many of you even know what a bassoon is? But you just talked about how even the bandmaster, even the band teacher, there was no bassoon in the band. So nobody can teach you this instrument because they don't have it, they don't play it, they weren't introduced to it. So uh in this administration that has been removing DEI
Mhm.
programs from schools and organizations and nonprofits, what was the value for you, even as an observer? Because
Mhm.
you mentioned Africa, you mentioned Switzerland, you mentioned all these other cultures coming together to play this music, but you also mentioned somebody saying that's not Beethoven.
Uh-huh. Well, people are classically trained and they stick to what they are taught. There's interpretations for everything. Like, yes, there's a foundation for Mozart. Yes, there is a foundation for Beethoven that should be followed. Yes, there is a foundation for Mahler. You don't play Beethoven with the same ferocity that you would a Wagner piece. So there's like those things that you have to like learn as you're going through the system as well. Um, what was your question again? I just got lost.
You were on it, but just the value of DEI and inclusion and these different cultures coming together. Um, you know, and I think you answered a lot of that. They don't, there, if you're not exposed to other people, other cultures, other styles, other genres,
Yeah,
then what do we get musically?
right. Well, it's always funny. I'll just say I'm a musician when people ask me what I do, because I know not to say bassoon because it's going to go down a whole rabbit hole. But what are the first? Oh, what do you play? Trumpet, saxophone? I'm like, here we go. Bassoon. What's that? And I'm like, oh, here we go. Before, all I could do was play drums and saxophone. Like, now you don't know what a bassoon is. Here I go. Now I got to explain this to you.
I
When you
had
was
a
like,
friend
I
who
got
played
nailed
the she,
down a minute ago.
I had a friend who played oboe.
What'd you say?
I had a friend who played oboe
Uh,
and had been so up in whatever classes she was in that she had been to Europe and had been to Rome and had been, you know, to Italy and played with
right.
Paul Wilbur and
Mhm.
you know these grand concerts in Christian music, but oboe
Right. Okay.
in Christian music is not a normal thing. It's not a regular instrument you see up at the altar. So that's
All
I'm
music,
used to
all music
hearing
was
those
new
questions.
music at one point, and sometimes you have to branch out and create your own. And this is where jazz and blues are, derived from, and the oral tradition of gospel. Like, I can't get enough. Like, give me a couple of tunes and I'm done. I'm just like, huh? Oh my god! Oh, see, I know where that pain come from. I know what she's singing about. I cried on stage from Mahler before too, just because it was just such a lush, like amazing, like rush of emotion.
Mhm.
Um, when it comes to DEI, I think of it this way. Um, don't tell me I got here just because of DEI or because you feel that I'm here because of affirmative action. At the end of the
Mhm.
day, I had to work my ass off. And I had to work my ass off to be in these spaces. And another thing too is what a lot of people don't know. When you take auditions for classical orchestras for about 4 5 decades now, an audition for an orchestra, you audition blindly. That
Mhm.
means the committee can't see you.
Only
You
heard the
come
music.
on, they have no idea if you're male, female, black, white, 11 legs, two. They don't know. They don't care. It's the person that plays the best that wins the audition. So we have had some wonderful people who have risen to the occasion and come out from behind that screen, and people have been like, "What? Oh, okay. Okay. See, yeah, that's Beethoven with a little bit of stank on it. Okay, that's what I did. That's Beethoven with some stank on it. That's Mozart with a little bit of flavor. Okay, yes, you chose me for a reason.
Hmm.
You chose me for a reason. Um,
And they would never otherwise have ever heard that because
I
you're used to the same style. Everybody is
mhm,
cookie cutter.
absolutely.
That's what I was looking for earlier.
Yeah, it is cookie cutter, and it can be very, and I can see why some people think that classical music is boring, because it can get a little bit tiring and a little bit cookie cutter. I'm like, okay, I've heard this 100,000 times before. Give me something new. And there are some children out there now that are writing music that knocks your face off, pushes the boundaries of every single instrument in the
Oh yeah.
ensemble. And I couldn't be more proud to be part of the people, part of this generation
Mhm.
of my cohorts that are lighting stuff on fire,
Yeah.
from composition to actual performances, getting their flowers finally with their Grammy wins, not only in composition but in performance. It's just it's a different world. We're dealing with some of the same problems, but our excellence is shining through. Our excellence is shining through. But don't forget, you got to get tenure as well. So there's also
Absolutely.
a fight right there because like any, two or three people that just don't care for you, you're done. And think of a professional orchestra. It's very high school. It's very high school. It's very Mean Girls. It's very I don't care what nobody says. It just is what it is. There's
Mhm.
some groups I go and I play with them, and I couldn't be more excited and happy. There are other groups I'm like, ooh, let me see if somebody else got something going on that week because y'all a little bit toxic. I'm gonna take your money, but so do that week.
Goodness.
But
You were
being
talking
exposed.
about the new flavor that's coming out in this generation of orchestra musicians. Can we talk about the music of Bridgerton and candlelight concerts and the hip hop orchestra out here? It's a lot of flavor that is being introduced. I know people didn't know what classical music was, or they hadn't been exposed to it outside of an elevator and
Right.
being on hold.
Bridget,
And that's what you get. But Bridgerton, baby,
they did the doggone thing. Because I was sitting there watching, I'm like, wait a minute, is that Gaga? Hold
is it
on.
Beyonce? And then why am I singing SWV? I guess. Come on, Shonda.
She did. I was so obsessed with it. I went through all seasons, but that first season, I was just like, come on. I couldn't get enough.
I got a coat. I got a coat made
Oh,
in
did you really?
Bridgerton style. I'm
I,
like, give me your outfit or five,
okay.
and give me the soundtrack to bump in the car. But yeah, the music. Um,
And that's something that brings people together. I know that we're in a very crazy place all over the world right now, but um, whether you're putting on Beyonce, Taylor Swift, no matter who you're listening to, music crosses color bounds. It crosses nationalities. It crosses globally. It's like music, sports, and food bring people together,
oh yeah.
and they don't care who you voted for,
Mm-mm.
what color you is, and nothing like that. As long as the food is on and popping, the music is on and popping, like everything is good. Everything is good. But
Mhm.
for like DEI, I think it's better for them to be exposed to us. And I say that because people don't understand. We grew up in a world where your your color was you could see my color from across the room, and you automatically make an assumption about how smart a person may
Mhm.
be,
Yeah.
how it be, and then you open your mouth and you start speaking. Then all of a sudden, it's just like, oh, well, maybe you are blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay, why would you think that in the first place? Why would
Mhm.
you think that in the first place? Like, you think less of me already as soon as I walk in the room. So, like, you're always, coming at something from the back foot,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
you just want to put the best foot forward. And let's not forget, I'm generally the only face that looks like me when I get
I've
on a
been to a
stage.
show or two. You are absolutely, you are absolutely, you are absolutely correct.
At
Is you
least two
maybe
where
one
you
other
know.
that's questionable, but it's
Mhm.
you.
And both of them like wonderful orchestras. Both of them wonderful orchestras. And I'm so glad I got to play the opening, the Marriage of Figaro. I'm so glad
Oh,
you got to see
that was my favorite.
Oh
That
my
was my
god,
favorite. It was
that
live and in color.
uh
Everything you had to watch, you had to listen. We looking for you. It was so much happening at the same time. It constantly for 3 hours, maybe
oh yeah,
I don't know how long it was, but
it was
it's like
it
I
was a
needed a
minute.
bag with refreshments, and I'd have been good. You could have kept going. I just need some snacks right now.
I
But
think we
yeah,
did
that
too.
was that was amazing. And even the people in the audience, you can tell who had never been exposed to.
Right.
that genre of music before because they were sitting there wide eyed uh,
Right.
and mouth open, like, what is happening? But it
There's
was an
something
experience.
there's something special about being in a live space and watching these people work together towards one goal. So as much as I'm like, I want to be left alone sometimes and just like, be isolated, everything I do is happily with a group.
Same.
I never want to do anything alone. I want to create with you. I want to like vibe with you. I want to network with you. Now, my social media is down. You've been lovely. I need to step over here and
It's
recharge.
time to go.
It's time to go. It's time to
Time to,
go.
you get 12.35 minutes and we're
Yeah.
done.
And they
You can
count
get
down
all of that.
too. I know
So
that I'm learning.
how do you maintain your mental health in those types of spaces? Because you are a creative and we already know acting, music, performing. Um, how do you maintain that when you rather be here,
Mhm,
but you're here
mhm.
and you have to be here for the duration of this concert, the rehearsal, all the stuff that happens afterwards, the
Right.
commuting back and forth. How do you maintain your mental health?
Um, I asked for it. I asked for it. So I have to feel grateful that I've gotten to a certain level and a certain like reputation in this field, but I'm really good at just setting boundaries and
Where
giving
did
time.
that come from?
What's that?
Where did that come from?
Okay.
Getting good.
Oh, you have to. I've had to, and it's not because I don't wish to be helpful, because I am Mr. Collaborator. I love to collaborate with people. I love to do bring stuff together that just doesn't seem like, why are these two things together? Like, who did this? So I had a guy that makes duck and goose calls. From when I was a kid, I used to work with them. I had to make a low A extension for my bassoon. I gave him a template, and so where is that thing? That's one of the things. I love to collaborate with people, and it is just the most amazing thing. So just like they come in like black plastic, but Rick did his doggone thing. So not only did he make this extension for me, so again, this is me thinking outside of the box. I would like the guy that makes duck and goose calls have something made for me for my very expensive bassoon. He came up with this absolutely amazing little piece that takes the bassoon down like another half octave. But the piece that I had it written for, it's called Sagan by a composer named Valerie Coleman. He literally put the notes of that piece that I needed for that low A. He put them on here. So I couldn't be more grateful for that collaboration.
That is creative and
Um, th-
beautiful.
and
Those
then
leaves.
Oh my goodness! It's like these are oak leaves. Oh, even though bassoon's made out of maple, and this is persimmon wood, so very expensive. But
Wow.
it's I, I like to collaborate. It's like, when I went down to y'all show on the South, you had like people there with food. You had spoken word. You had um, like books being sold, stuff like that. I work with, in finance during the day. That's what I do for my day job. And there's a lady that makes this beautiful, like some of the most amazing, like woodworking stuff ever. And I put her together with the company that I sell the bassoons through. And so now she's making the tags for every new instrument that goes
Mm,
building. So it's like, I like to bring people together. I like to bring small businesses together. I like to bring independents together to, create something to put out into the world. If I want a suit, like you've seen the suit, I just got 4 new
I
ones.
saw this.
Okay,
I
so
saw
there's that
this.
too. So I'm like, oh, and this clock behind me, that young lady, she made this clock as well. It's absolutely
Not a
insane.
face.
Oh yeah, the face of it is I don't know if you'll, but yeah, this is Ms. Atkinson. And it is just the most like, it's too much for most people. It's perfect for me.
That's gorgeous.
So I think it's like one of the most stunning things. So I like to like bring people together, do collaborations. I know, like we did. I started off the season working with Renee Baker. She is like the godmother of classical music for the Black folks here in Chicago, and to be asked to perform with her is like the greatest honor. But to have her write a piece for you to premiere, that's how my season got started. I'm not a soloist. I enjoy playing with a group. This is the first time ever I've taken the chance to step out front and then have everybody else back me.
Mm.
And it's a scary concept, but I can literally now add soloist to my resume. I can add soloist to my resume. It's very cool.
So let
And
me go. Let me go back and edit your bio caption.
uh, yeah, so and it's yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot that you go through as a classical musician, but I chose the field. I didn't realize how unwelcome I was until
Yeah,
you got a little bit
that was
further.
where I was headed with some of the conversation. Just talking about the experience of touring,
Mm.
and being with other groups, and being the face that walks in the room. Talk about that unwelcoming.
Ooh, okay. So one of the tours of Europe, this is back in the '90s, and we would stay with host families. So first of all, on this particular tour, we're doing like France, Belgium, Italy, Switzerland, Germany, and somewhere else, Denmark. And so it was my last year at University of Michigan. So I took German, French, and Italian because I knew I was going to be teaching during that summer as well. So we
Repeat that.
get,
Go back.
I was going to be teaching in Europe during that summer as well. So we
And
would
you
visit.
took what?
What's that?
German, French, and Italian.
Yeah, German, French, and Italian. So I
I
got like,
hope y'all caught all those countries who dropped. Uh,
I-
I said world class for a reason.
but it's and it's crazy because when we got to, this was like a twofer. So you know how people treat you like you're stupid, blah 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 blah. There are 100 of us on two different tour buses. One of the tour buses broke down on the side of a mountain in Switzerland. So they didn't know how to get help, ask for help, speak the language. Guess who did? I'm the person that was able to arrange and let them know. It's like, yeah, we have people, we got a hotel we got to get into. We get to the hotel, and
Shut
a
up.
hundred people are all looking at me like, mm-hmm.
This
Wieder
is
haben wir keine
delicious.
Reservierung, haben Sie vielen Dosen
Delicious.
fried. So it's just like, you was treating me about this, that, and the other before. So then we go, and our next town we go to was a town in Bad Kissingen, Germany. And so we're all in this church. We're waiting for our host families to basically come and get us. The host family saw that I was black, and he said, I will not have a nigger in my house.
And you responded.
With nothing. With nothing. Because, see, you know how you're an angry black man if you got something to say back.
Oh.
You're an angry black man if you got something to say back. So if, you know,
But you understood
they
what he
said
said because you knew the language.
all of it. And I was just like, that's fine. Ended up staying with the most amazing family. So like I went from the shit into like a really absolutely amazing family that turned around that portion of the trip for me.
Mhm.
Now, we did over 30 concerts over a 6 week period of time in Germany, in France, in Italy. Well, we have a set list of the pieces we're going to play. Somebody needs to tell the audience what the repertoire is going to be for the concert. Who's the first person standing up in Milan, in Rome? Who's the person that stood up in L'Argentière, in Cannes? Who's the person that stood up to introduce in Bobkissingen? So it's you can say what you want, but it's just and if you're and if you're confident in your abilities, people will want to call you cocky or arrogant or this, that, or the other. I'm just like, I'm just doing me. That's the way you see it. But I'm like, remember, you needed the help. I was able to give it to
You
you,
was
and
on the
I did it
side of
with
the
no
road.
attitude. I did it without an attitude. So I learned these things. And I also wanted to learn the languages because I didn't want to be that American that just goes somewhere and just screams English louder.
Oh. As
It's like,
if
oh, I
that
want a
will
sandwich.
help.
Oh, she got me messed up over here in Italy. Like, I said I want a sandwich. Like, no, no, no. It's panini, baby. Okay. Now let's get some of these words together. So there's another thing about like wanting to learn how
Wow.
to speak the language, learning other people's cultures. And so it's not just like a DEI thing. When you look at like everything around us, like that's here in the United States, it's just like we are a melting pot where like, okay, now you gonna sit up here and say all your racist stuff, but you love you some enchiladas, don't you? You're gonna be right up the street. Okay, now you're gonna say all this racist stuff, but oh, you want some egg foo young, don't you? Okay, so it's just like people don't realize like we benefit and learn from
Oh,
and can blend so many things together to like create some harmony. And I think people are so concerned with like with their little separate pigeonholes. I'm a left-footed, like twice blinked American, blah 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 blah. It's just like, hi, my name's Lamar Curtis. I'm an American. I ain't got to be a black, gay, slew-footed. No, no, I am an American. Now, I know we got our problems with what we see. We're in the middle of Juneteenth right now, and the, work it, work it. You know where I'm gonna be on Friday, so on the 19th, I'm gonna be there for the opening and for the celebration. But we all need to learn something from each other because not one can be right all the time. Sometimes we need help. Sometimes we need guidance. Sometimes we need a different perspective. Sometimes we need a different point of view.
sometimes
Sometimes
you
we have
need
to need,
flavor
sometimes you need
because
flavor.
your life is dry.
Okay.
Your
no,
life.
I see that vanilla over there. I see it. I see it. It's absolutely delicious. But what if you had
However,
chocolate sauce and like a little bit of peanuts on top of that? You got some cherry. You got some cherry. Like, okay, a little bit of pineapple. Let's make this taste like something.
and it's so interesting. I just thought about I just is replaying. It's like you love you some enchiladas. You got a problem with these groups of people. I was in Chipotle yesterday.
Oh,
I was in Chatung the day before, and I can count on one hand somebody that looked like somebody else.
right.
Because everybody in there was the same color.
Okay.
Um, purchasing these items. And soccer, it was a special because if you wear soccer apparel, you got a 2 for 1 or something. I own nothing soccer, and I'm like, why is this line so long? everybody
Right.
everybody in there
Uh,
had a soccer shirt, and it's like, oh, when did you start watching the World Cup? Oh, that's interesting. Even when I went and picked up my little fried rice and then egg rolls, everybody in there, was
uh, okay.
trying to have a birthday party, graduation celebration. I find it interesting.
Right.
I find it interesting. In the places and spaces we go, and it's a little more difficult when you were exposed to different races, different cultures, different ethnicities, even at a young age, because I was always um, either the only girl in the room, the only black in the room, the only woman in the room, or the youngest in the room. That
Right.
is like my legacy. Every organization, group, uh, you know, uh, membership, whatever I've been a part of, I've had those titles, and you can see, okay, I'm just here. And I never thought I was there to fill a quota. I was there because they needed me in there because
Right.
I was Angel Simmons, not because I was black. It was something different. It was something that Angel Simmons was bringing in the room. But I also graduated from Whitney Young Magnet High School, which was one of the top 5 schools in Chicago and still is. And it was a melting pot.
Mm-hmm.
Now there are more of us in population, but then, I don't know what the ratio, maybe it was 60% African
Okay.
American. And everybody else was everything. Um, and I mean everything, as I had white friends, Asian friends, Hispanic friends, Native American friends, friends that were part of the deaf community, friends that had different abilities. Um, I was just used to that. So even
Right.
coming from Whitney Young and going to Columbia College, Chicago, it's in the heart of downtown. And it was the same thing. It was literally like wipe the slate clean and here's your new group of friends. And white, Hispanic, Latino, Native American, Asian American,
Right.
different abilities, different preferences, different, everything was different. But that's what I'm used to. So going somewhere where you got a problem with my color, it was it
Okay.
was a it was always not a shock, but it was always like a huge reality check. It's like,
Right.
oh, you one of them. Not I'm
Mm-hmm.
one of them. You one of them. Because
Mm-hmm.
everywhere I go, I've been accepted.
Right.
And I do know, I'm not naive to know it has something to do with me being lighter.
Mm.
I understand that. I know there's colorism and that is alive and well. So I do know it makes me a little more acceptable. And I
Mm.
also know that changed when I would have braids or an afro or if my hair was straight.
Optics.
It was a
Optics.
big difference because if I come in here, even for runway, it was
Uh,
different. Because if I come in here with my twist out and my big afro or whatever, I'm automatically more aggressive and less cooperative.
mm-hmm.
Versus, my hair is straight and I am what? Because I'm still aggressive and uncooperative. It's like I'm not understanding. I don't know what you're talking about. But it was always a different treatment, even in the fashion industry. Add to that my butt, because I've been plus size for as long as I can remember. I was on the dance stage
Mm.
in the front row with this booty.
Right.
In high school, I had a grown woman's body.
Okay.
So anybody who had a problem with me on the front row had a big problem because you got something big to look at right
Right.
here. And how did I get on the front row? Because I know what I'm doing. Was I classically trained or traditionally trained? Do I know
Mm.
tap and jazz and ballet? Absolutely not. But I can do it.
Right.
I got these moves, which is how I ended up on the front row. Um, with my afro, you know, with these curls, because my hair is not as long as yours. Right. That's why you gotta get. Yeah, I don't have a bob that shakes. My hair don't move when I dance. I'm so sorry. If it moves, it's gonna stay in that direction for the duration of this piece, and you're gonna have to deal with it because I'm on the front row. But in those spaces, when your color is the first thing that shows people's biases, it's always unusual when you're used to being with other cultures and you're used to being in other circles and you're used to having connections with people that don't look like you. When you see that, it's like, what's wrong with you? Oh, oh, I'm black today. I forgot.
Girl, okay.
I forgot. I forgot I was black. That's what this is. You ain't want to give me. That's why you put my money on the counter instead of in my hand.
there
Give me my money.
are
I forgot I was
there are
black
those
today.
aggressions that are there that still exist. Now, let me tell you this: like the old school one used to be like trying to get a cab. I have not been able to get a cab unless I'm leaving O'Hare. Like, and they lined up, and you got to take me because I'm the next one in line. Now, if I go out here like right now and try and hail a cab, nobody's stopping for me. I've given it a shot like 10 times over the last like 3, 4 years. Every single time, pass by. Every single time pass by. Like, well, if you saw my Uber and my like Lyft rating, you would see that I'm at 4.9%. I'm a really good tipper.
Always.
So you lost.
Always at the 4.9 because you ain't gonna give me
Okay.
5, but you give me the 4.9 because I put my
I'll take that
seatbelt
for,
on.
but you go, but it's just like, no matter how proficient you become at something, no matter how good you become at something, no matter how loving you want to be, no matter how much you want to share the experience with people, no matter how much you want to celebrate what you've just done together, there's always that part of somebody just saying that, you just a nigga. Or if you're really good at something, well, I guess they can teach a monkey anything.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can't win for losing. So what I do is I win in my lane. I keep it light. I keep it airy. I keep it professional. I let you know that I do want to collaborate. When I do see some stank behavior, mental note, I want to keep sitting here smiling because all I got is 45 more minutes with you. I know you're trying to bait me into a conversation or bait me into a fight or bait
because
me.
otherwise, if I respond to this, I am automatically an angry black man.
No matter what, no matter how wrong they are, no matter how bad they are, it's um it's never it's never how did you get here? Like I loved your conversation from your last podcast, like, or what happened to you? Or did somebody
Because
do
that's
something
the
to you?
question we're supposed to ask. Not what's wrong with you, because something is wrong with you for real. But what happened?
Mm,
What
I
happened to make you a stank? I mean,
uh-huh.
have an attitude today.
I
What
had the
happened?
opportunity of asking that question at work on Tuesday. And you know how much like work around and like verbal gymnastics. I'm like, it was a
That's really
simple
what it
question.
is. Verbal
It,
gymnastics.
you can't so I asked you a very simple question, like, what's going on today? Are you okay? Well, so was that like, you being stank. You being stank, baby. Now talk to
I can
me.
smell it from here. You can
I can
smell that.
see it from here.
Everybody over here smell that.
Absolutely. You could bury it in roses all you want to. I can smell that little turd under the bottom of all them roses. So the turd is coming up, honey. The turd is coming up. But
Mm.
it's a you get it's exhausting because you want to work with people, you want to be a positive example in these spaces, unfortunately, where I may be the only one. Yes, I I do have to carry that burden of being the only black one. I do have to be that person that shows up ready to perform on day one. I'm not learning notes on day one. When I show up to the performance, when I show up to a rehearsal, I'm ready to perform. Now, some people they show up to rehearsal late. Oh, I haven't looked at this yet. I'm like, I couldn't get away with that. I
Because a
couldn't
lot
get
of that, and that comes from us needing to be 10 times better just to be acceptable.
absolutely, 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 and exhausting because you're playing both of those roles in your head. You just want to be excellent at what you do, but there's always that little thing where they want to remind you. It's like a little ball peen hammer that they
Mm.
just keep hitting you in the back of the head with, and or people that want to say that you're not good enough, or people that want to, well, he was a little bit loud here, or la 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 that. And I'm like, no, actually, you didn't play loudly enough there. You see the marking. That's going to be a forte. So even when I'm correcting people and they've been stank, I still keep a positive attitude. I'm like, oh, did you miss that? Like, let me make sure you got. Okay, I think we got the same thing. Yeah, I've got forte there too. So you might want to bring it up a little bit louder. So it's just like, look,
Very kindly
I'm trying to
correcting
work with you here.
your coworkers.
Yeah, so it's like, no matter how I say things, put things, I have to how to say it at work. Everything I have to say it, how you would say it at work. This is why I'm so buck wild in these streets. When I get to talk to people, I'm like, oh Lord have mercy. Talk to a normal human being that doesn't have to like have an agenda for everything.
Oh
Doesn't
my
have to
God.
have everything explained to them. Doesn't make you have to feel like you have to justify your existence for being in their presence. Well, first and foremost, you asked me to be here,
Mm-mm.
and I appreciate you. I appreciate you, but you asked me to be here, and there others await.
How
Others,
how how much of that um I don't want to say filtering, but redirecting of words, how much of that is taught as a black man um, growing up versus learning on the fly based on experiences? Like, is this we have the conversation about, hey, you might be with your friends, but your friends are not black
right?
and they're going to be treated differently.
Hmm.
You can't do everything they do. You can't go everywhere they go. And this is why. So some of that training happens with our teenagers. So once they get, maybe not even waiting that long, but once they start hanging out with their friends and going other places, unchaperoned, you have to have that the black conversation with our young boys.
Right,
But when do you get the professional conversation? Hey, you going to work now? There's some things you are not gonna be able to do at work. You might hear some things and see some things that's not for you,
right,
because you are black.
right.
It's gonna come off differently. How much of that gets taught as a black man coming up?
That
Oh,
is
he took his
something that
glasses off. He took his
that is something that is learned. Grandmama them done taught you like you can't do what everybody else do. So there's that code. There's also a generational thing.
glasses.
Understanding like what people the generation before me had to go through, but they will never expose to you like that hardship. They know they live with that trauma and they've done everything they can to keep you from being exposed to it.
Mm-hmm.
So they found ways to help get us into this next generation. Now, you can't talk to white folks that way, blah, 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 blah. But
That,
you think I'll sit around in a room and like not look you in the eye because you a certain color? Hello, hi, yeah,
and I've
yeah.
heard
I'm
people who were taught exactly that. You can't look white people in the eye. You can't
and
make direct contact. You don't raise your voice. You walk behind them.
and we
You let them
still
go past first.
those people are still living among us. Like those people, they are still living like what here's a good one. So understanding like generations and like anger when it comes to dealing with like racism and things of that nature. So we took a road trip when I was a kid from Flint, Michigan. Dad loaded up 5 kids and drove down to Talladega, Alabama to spend time with his family there. The car ended up breaking down somewhere, just inside of Alabama. So it's like night. And so my dad was like, he was a mechanic, so he was great. So he told the kids, like, why don't y'all go in the store? It's a little bit cooler, try to find some candy and, come back out. So it's me, I'm the oldest. So I take the others all in tow. And my brother was asking the guys, like, well, how much is this candy? And how much is this candy? How much is this candy? Grown ass man. And he stood there and he looked at all 5 of us children. He's like, can't you niggers read? And I grabbed all my brothers and sisters and I went back out to the car. I was hot. I was incensed. I like you couldn't hold me nowhere. and just full of tears. I'm like, Daddy, this is what that man just said, blah, 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 blah. And Dad said, okay, y'all go ahead and sit in the car. And I'm like, you you ain't got shit to say about that? You ain't got nothing to say about that. And I was so upset for a very long time with my father for not going in there and giving that man what for, or standing up for his kids, yada, yada, yada. And it wasn't until years later that I understood that that was normal for my dad. That was, he grew up in that. He didn't, he may have known better, but he also knew what the limitations were with where we were in the country. So I grew up in the north, so I can like say what I want, be free, whatever. But when you're, I was so like ashamed of my dad, and then after I thought about the situation, I was so ashamed of myself
Mm.
for not understanding that you staying on his back, he had to listen to that shit all day, every day. You don't have to. You don't have to. Like you're just one step outside of that generation where they've helped to get us to step out of that.
Mm.
So understanding what people had to go through before me is also a part of my makeup, because it's just like, you know what? But for them, you wouldn't be able to do even this right now.
Mhm. You know,
You would.
I've seen that with my pops. Um, he actually grew up on a plantation,
Hmm.
and he's been in my life since I was 4.
Hmm.
But he grew up in Tugelo, Mississippi.
Tougaloo.
Tougaloo, okay, Tougaloo.
Boog-
He grew up down
Boogaloo.
there. Grew up down there. But he grew up on a plantation, and he was darker,
Hmm.
and he had the 2 siblings that were lighter were treated differently and sent to boarding school,
Hmm.
and the ones who were darker worked on the plantation, and they would play with the massa was his grandfather,
Hmm.
and the massa was white,
Hmm.
and he would play with the white kids on the plantation, which means they would have been his cousins,
Right.
uncles, and aunts.
Right.
I can't even do that kind of math right now. But
Hmm.
they would play until their parents came home, and when their parents came home, they couldn't play anymore. Now you got to go back to calling me sir and ma'am.
Right.
But this was his experience as a kid, and all the stories about walking miles, with bags on our feet, and we had to alternate who wore the shoes this day and that day. You see that on TV, but this was my pops
Right.
telling me stories. He has a problem with dogs.
Hmm.
And I didn't know for years. And I would always joke when I would go visit. He had a house in Matson. He bought a house. He bought a house on a corner in Matson where
Hmm.
no other black people were living, and parked his Cadillacs and his Lincolns on the corner and in the garage so everybody could see it.
Right.
Everything he paid cash for. He worked at UPS until he retired. Everything he paid cash for. And when he moved into that house, they had a village meeting,
Hmm.
and he thought it was a meet and greet with the neighborhood.
Uh-huh.
They wanted to know how he got that money to move in. I think they thought he was gangster of some
Right.
of some sort. But the
Because
meeting the meeting was him. The
you
meeting was
couldn't
him.
possibly.
But this is where he came from, and this is where he went.
Right.
As this man now, retired, living in Madison, got his house, got his cars, can pay cash for whatever. Um, don't want to go to the doctor
Hmm.
because he'll have all these reasons why he needs to go, but then when he gets there, oh, everything's fine. How you doing, sir? Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Yes. How good day? Good day. How are you? How's your family?
Right.
Completely different personality.
Hmm.
Because that's how he was taught
Right.
to speak and interact and talk to white people.
Right.
So, is there anything bother you? No, I'm fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. No, we got a list. Here's the list, sir. We got a list of questions. He don't want to ask no questions.
Yeah.
And when I think about that and think about black men and therapy
Mm-hmm.
and mental health and trying to get medications and living with bipolar and living with depression and living with anxiety, when you had your ancestors, your generation before who lived those experiences, it's in your DNA, and it's also in your upbringing not to seek help.
It's in your DNA to not seek help. And if you do seek out help, can you trust the help that's being given to you? Can you trust the help that's being given to you? Now, and we also grew up with what goes on in this house stays in this
Stays in
house.
this house.
So we grew up to take on, we grew up to take on a lot of burden and just deal with it.
Until we break.
To deal with it because at the end of the day, there was always somebody telling me like, "Oh shit, you ain't got it as bad as I used to have it," and blah 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 blah. And you know what? They're absolutely right. And then you feel that such and so they went through all of this and raised 12 kids, and they didn't have to go through therapy, and all their kids turned out just fine. It's
No,
just
they
like,
didn't.
what? No, they didn't.
No, they didn't. No, they did not. They did not.
No,
And it's
they didn't.
interesting that the older he gets, and his birthday is today. I'm telling this.
Uh,
I'm telling stories, and his birthday is today. His birthday is today, which means he is 89.
mm,
That means
all
he's
right then.
89. That means he's 89 today. And the older he gets, and the more dementia started setting in, I
Mm,
would hear more and more of these stories about why he only eats vanilla ice cream.
mm,
What's the history behind that? You don't want no other flavor? He only eats vanilla ice cream. As a child, he could not because
wow.
vanilla ice cream was too pure. They would not allow them to have vanilla ice cream. You couldn't touch anything that looked clean. So they had
Wow.
to eat black walnut,
What?
which is why a lot of people's flavor of choice is black walnut to this day. They could not eat vanilla. They could eat black walnut. He only eats vanilla ice cream today. When I joked about getting a little dog that I can take in a bag and he can go with me, don't bring a dog over here. Don't bring a dog over here. He shows
Right.
me the dog bite on his leg from when he was 12, because that's what they would send to find the black people.
Mm,
If they thought you were somewhere you should not have been, they sent the dogs.
right.
So he grew up terrified of dog. If you heard dogs barking, you knew they were looking for a black person,
Right.
likely a black man, a black boy. So
Right.
now he didn't want me to get a little dog and bring him over by the house. I was like, okay, daddy, I'm gonna bring no dog. And let me go
Sure.
get you some vanilla ice cream. My God. So now that dementia has set in and he's in a facility, um, all these stories are coming, they keep coming back. And all the times he went to the doctor and didn't say what was actually wrong, or they would
Right.
give him medication and he wouldn't take it because what did you just say? We don't
Wow.
trust it. So you got to the point where you can ask for help, but you don't trust the help. I'm not taking that stuff. I'm not
Well,
taking that stuff. That's the stuff that could have been helping you. I'm not taking that stuff. I don't know what's in there. You're right. We don't. Because
exactly.
you had to go back in history and think about how many times black men were given medication
As a
and it
restrict.
ended up being what? It's the actual disease. You actually you over here being tested. You the
Right.
guinea pig. You
Right.
the lab rat. No, he ain't taking that medication. He don't trust it. He don't trust you because he don't have a
And
reason to.
for very logical reasons from his like standpoint. like very logical reasons. It's
Very.
from life experience. So you can't invalidate what that man has experienced, what his fear base is, holding on to, and that trauma. And then another thing with those that go through dementia, like whether it be Alzheimer's or Lewy bodies, any different type of dementia, the things that they remember are it's the long term memory.
Yeah.
They're going back to their childhood. So I work
He's
for
back on that plantation. And I don't
and
know too many people that can say they know somebody who grew up on a plantation.
absolutely
And he was, and they weren't. They at that point they would have been sharecroppers. It would have been after the alleged free-ish. You still live here and work here. Maybe you get pennies on whatever. You
right,
get a little something. And
right.
if they didn't want to pay you, they would say, "Hey, did nothing come in? Crops didn't do good this year. We didn't grow that much this year. We can't pay. We can't pay you nothing this week."
See now, because if I'm working, you better run that check. You better. I'll play Aretha Franklin. I'll walk around with a big old purse. I need $50,000 in this purse before I even go up there and play single note. So you saw that in my contract before I rolled up here on this bus. Now you better go ahead and act right. So you you have
But
to.
once you've had those kinds of experiences and that kind of trauma, therapy is out of the question.
Mhm. There, you can't unfurl that kind of. There's nothing you've learned in a book that you can teach me about, like the visceral reaction I may have to a sound. It's beyond
A
PTSD.
dog,
Uh,
a
it's beyond
truck.
PTSD. Beyond the backfiring of a truck. It's
Ooh,
beyond uh,
yeah.
hearing fireworks. It's beyond
Mhm.
hearing like a dog barking. It's about. It's like everything and every part of you is has learned to walk through the world loosely, but so
Mhm.
tense on the inside. Like you have to show something different on the outside.
Yeah.
It's completely different from what's going on in the core of your soul. So we get to learn how to be chameleons. We learn how to fake it till we make it. We
And that's
learn
what we
how to.
teach the next generation. So his children won't be going to therapy.
Mhm.
His other relatives, other families won't be. The siblings that were, taken away and had a better life don't even understand what your issues are.
Mhm.
They eating whatever ice cream they want.
Right. And
And
why am
they
I
got a dog. It got
right?
dogs. It got dogs.
They get to have a dog
What
too.
you mean?
Oh
There was a
God.
different upbringing.
Right. But I mean, you have to think about just the ugliness that black men are seen with, and just the automatic assumptions that are made about you before you can even, walk in the room. It's if you thought about it all the time, you would never leave the fucking house. It's there. It's
Hmm.
there. I feel it. I know it. I sense it. I see it. Um, People come at you sideways, but at the end of the day, somehow I have to be manage to be the bigger person in the face of all your bullshit. Now, there's sometimes I'm tired. But guess what?
You might catch it. You might catch one. You
You
might
got the
catch
right
it.
one today. You
You
got the
might
right one
catch
today. So you want to do okay? All right. So I'm speaking for the ancestors, everybody that couldn't speak up. Um, hold on. Let me clear my throat. Look, mother,
it.
I ain't gonna be too much more of this shit.
Right. There ain't
But
gonna be
there,
too many more of them.
okay, I ain't gonna be too many more. But
Mm-mm.
it's hard. It's something we're still dealing with. It's 2026 and things are still challenging. Now, the one very cool thing that I think of that I think we see, but we really don't put enough emphasis on it. Remember when we were kids, like we always knew. Talk about being stuck in your place or put in your place. We always knew, wasn't a question about it. Poe Jesse, bless his heart. We always knew there would never be a black president. We just knew it. We accepted it as a fact. It's never going to happen. We went on about our day. All of a sudden now, I mean, like literally think about this. You have a whole generations, multiple generations, knowing that you would never have any representation or you would never see that place, in the White House. Cut to today, there are children who are, 12, 13, 14 years old that have only, or, close to 20 now, I guess, that grew up seeing that blackface in the White House, who grew up seeing the vice president as a blackface in the White House.
Mm-hmm.
That's two completely different worlds.
Mm-hmm.
That's a world where they could see the possibility, and that's all they've ever known.
And the expectation is different, very
And
different.
the expectation is different. And I expect y'all to run with that. They don't understand the pre versus post world, but
Mm-hmm.
that lifts the level, that opens up your mind to so much more possibility. Because literally, like we grew up just knowing that ain't never gonna happen. That ain't never
Mm-hmm.
gonna happen. And then there are kids living their day. It's just like, oh, we've been doing that. What you mean we? Shit.
You ain't even voted yet.
Yeah,
Right?
you was born into this. So it's
Yeah.
there's hope there. Um yeah, there's hope there. Seeing people in seeing people that look like us in those spaces. So for me, going in playing on an orchestra, it's like it's not a big deal. Like this is what I do. This is what I am. You get there, you see that you're like, oh, okay. People and like all 95 people are like, no, okay, that was cute. That
How
was
you
cute.
get here?
Let's see. He can do it again. Like, okay, that was cute. Then by the end of the rehearsal, say, "Oh, I've never heard of you before. Oh, it was so wonderful. It's so wonderful to be such wonderful playing." I'm like, okay, what was you expecting?
Are you on social media? So I
Very
can
little.
go back so I can go back and see how many other times you've done it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you go straight on back because I'm pretty boring on social media. Like I post about performances and I'm like, deuces. Now on to the next gig. On to the next gig.
Oof.
Ugh, but yeah, there's a lot
Representation.
that we are still going through. Even though I even got invited to do this, like international, be a judge for an international competition, right? And I told the lady straight up and down, I'm like, look, I really appreciate the offer, but I need to let you know, please tell me you're not offering the this position because I'm black.
Mm.
Oh no, 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 no. Like we know of your reputation and you've been doing it, blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay, like I'm not the one. Like I'm not here to like coon for you. I'm not here to be your black representative. If you want my honest opinion about something, if you want my expertise about something, I'm happy to offer it to you. Don't give me this. Don't give it to me because I'm black and you need a black face in the room.
Mhm.
Don't do that. Don't do that. And I think that's where sort of DEI goes wrong and feels a little bit condescending.
Mhm.
It was like, well, we kind of need one of you in the room, and you're the closest one. So, nope, no, ma'am, nope, no, ma'am. So, do you need me for my abilities, or what? So, we also started to talk a little bit about imposter syndrome.
Mhm.
After I got that first offering with Leitzinger, absolutely fabulous company, incredible bassoon. And then I went and got my second from Fox, who was like the number one seller in the world. And to be asked to be an artist for them, come on. It opened so many doors. It opened so much. There's a validation when a company like that puts their name behind you. I'm like, I'd already done all the hard work, and I will continue to work hard. But that validation really took me to a different level of the jobs that were being offered all of a sudden. And they go from, oh, I've never heard of you before. It's like, we're so lucky to have you.
Mm. How
Or
different does that feel?
okay. Or when you walk into a performance after you've played with an orchestra before, they know who you are. They know you're playing now. So before you got like a little bit of when you walked in the door, like a little bit of suspicion. Now it's just like, oh, it's so good to see you. I'm like, it's good to see you too. Now, like, sit down. I got to work out these B flats right quick. But hey, good to see you too. But you take the good with the bad. You take the good. And all you can do is like be yourself. Show up, do your stuff. Make sure that you are prepared. I don't have to wear the weight of like every single Black person in a symphony on my back, but just through breathing, I do. Just through breathing, like you have to set a good example. And when I do keep my mouth shut, it's like because I'm going to keep my mouth shut, or I'm going to handle this properly. So maybe the person that comes behind me has a fighting chance. You don't have to deal with this particular instance because I've already, read somebody fulfill in the nicest way, or made people understand things outside of their sort of world. Like we know how everybody else is living. It's been taught to us. We've been given beauty standards that are only one way, shape, or form. I look around now, like you couldn't wear like natural hair when we were kids. You know what I'm saying? People are like, oh, you got a nappy hair, blah, 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 blah. Can I tell you, like we look at fashion and stuff like that now, and I just see some of the most beautiful creatures on the face of the earth that look just like this. And it's take it and run with it. It's like there isn't one like standard. We're all told that like, oh, like you said, like the lighter skin, the better. I watched 6 hours of a Thomas Jefferson special the other night. Could not keep my eyes off it. I'm like, when they gonna get to Sally? When they gonna get to Sally? Oh, okay. Oh, she went to Paris with him when she was 14, huh? Okay. When Thomas wasn't around, Sally wasn't pregnant. As soon as Thomas was back around, Sally was pregnant again. Okay. So oh my God. But yeah, we've come a long way. We're definitely being forced to take a few steps back, but I don't think that's going to last very long. We have seen what is possible. We know how to be resilient. We just got to find a way to get folks on board. And a lot of times it's just I can't tell you what I want to do a lot of times, but I'm going to show you.
I can show you better than I can tell you.
I can show you better than I can tell you. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know if this has helped anybody, but it's
I think it has, and I think those were great final words for our viewers and those who will catch the replay. I saw a few pop on. Um, they were listening so hard they didn't even comment. They was just watching. They was just watching. They just pop in, and come. Ooh, I gotta come back. Come back. That's great. But we'll have way more that catch your replay. I'm sure. I know Saturday early is hard to sit and watch something, but I love my viewers who will hit the replay and send me a message like, "Oh, girl." I
Okay.
love it. Before we go, tell us where you're going to be next. What do you have going on?
Actually, in Evanston, our quintet is getting together again. So August 1st, we'll be performing up in Evanston. I forget the name of the hall already. But another one, the next one is a week later, August 8th. I'm going to go out to Portland, Maine. There is this fabulous young bassoonist, Cinnamon Denise, CD. And she mixes like hip hop, R&B flavors with the bassoon. This child, like I saw her on like Instagram one day. I must have gone through 20 of her posts. I was just like, holy crap. And she reached out to me one day, like out of nowhere, and asked me if I would be willing to do this project with her for this, particular thing out in Maine. I'm like, are you serious? Absolutely. Absolutely. I am definitely going to do that. So that's something that's super positive. I know that I'm on the sub list this year again for Sinfonietta. Let's hope they get this all worked out. Let's see, Arkansas again, Indianapolis again. Let's see, South Bend again, and then more of the sales conferences, things of that nature. And I work during the day. My day job is as an accountant
Mhm.
for a travel company. So Monday through Friday, I'm here at the house, but I can take my job anywhere. So a lot of
I
times,
love that. I love that for you.
yeah. So
That's incredible.
it takes a lot. There is a lot of anxiety, but at the end of the day, if you want something and you want to be ambitious about something, you may not control how it gets to you, but when it finally does, just be grateful. Just just be grateful,
Hmm.
because like there's signs around you every single day of people that aren't living their best lives, that may feel miserable, that may have bought and drank the Kool-Aid and thinking they're not, good enough. Like I hear you saying it to me. I just don't believe it. I've proven you wrong multiple times. So Google me.
Final words.
And it sounds so
Google me.
ugly, but I'm like, literally, it's just like, Google me. Just see. And and that wasn't a thing, like 15 years ago or whatever.
Oh, sure wasn't.
And like, I don't care about like an online presence. And they're just like, oh, you got to do this, that, the other. The only reason I have any social media is because I was forced to, because I had a manager, and they're like, okay, you got to, put all this on social media. I'm like, it was cute
I
at first, then it got
listen.
real
I
exhausting.
I I didn't get on social media until 2012, so I
Uh,
skipped all of the MySpace and all of that. I was like so adamant about not being found by people I didn't want to find me.
right.
And I was working with a conference and had to do their social media, and that's how it started. And now we over here creating content every other day. Like, what happened?
I remember there was a day I'm like, don't text message me. You got the phone in your hand. Call me. Say something.
And now I'm
Nothing.
like, text me, don't call me. You better text me first. I'm not answering. Not answering the
Yeah,
phone.
like growing up, like you get recommended for jobs and stuff like that. Like you want to talk to somebody, get the contract going, all this other good stuff.
the oddest thing, I will just be talking to somebody over the interwebs, like, okay, are you available for this day? I'm like, yeah, who is this? And like, I look up the orchestra. I'm like, okay, make sure that's a day. Okay, like, y'all paying what? Okay, you covering this, that, and the other. I will get my ass on the flight. I done booked a plane. I got a hotel room. Ain't met these people one time, except for electronically. And I'm just like, oh, it's gonna happen.
Send the contract.
It's a different world. It is a
Send me the
different world.
contract.
Yeah,
That's
send me the
amazing.
contract.
That
But yeah,
is incredible. But I have some pageant siblings in Maine,
okay.
and some in Indiana.
All right.
So I will be looking out for your announcements so I can send it on over and say, hey, go see my brother, go see my brother, go see my brother.
Absolutely. When's your next gig?
I am homeward bound this month.
Okay.
Until my birthday, 26, I got some things kicking off. And then that Saturday, the 27th, our Mentality podcast will be live at afternoon tea at the Drake Hotel in Oak Brook. So
Oh,
we're gonna have tea. We're gonna have live tea,
okay, somebody trying to be Princess
costume and all.
Queen Elizabeth.
That's where we'll be on the 27th, and then July I will be Revolutionary International Pageant is in New Orleans, so we leave on the 22nd. And I am coaching a friend through pageant weekend for her in Utah, of all places. And I'd leave on the 30th or the 31st. So I got 2 flights in July. August, we'll be in DC for I forget what. And then September, end of September, we have our Ultimate Universe Pageant System. Our annual pageant weekend is the end of September. October will be at DC on Capitol Hill fighting for rights and legislation for those with disabilities and chronic illness. And at some point, there's Paris Fashion Week. We, damn it. So those are my next few months in a nutshell. So I'm looking forward to that. Part of my prize package for Miss Revolutionary Purpose World include a cruise that will be sailing off in the spring. Yeah, and our national pageant is in March in Tennessee. So I'm basically out of town once a month. After this month, I'm out of town once a month through April.
And
that's pretty cool.
And the last thing, I'm so glad that you get to travel to. And another great lesson about travel, I used to be that guy who's just like, y'all doing it all wrong. You're supposed to do it like this, that, and the other. Nope. The great thing about travel is like you get to see how people do things differently. How do you like do this in your community? What do I have to add? What can I bring from it? But I used to be that guy traveling like, okay, these people is ignorant, like blah 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 blah, like nope, no, that's not for you. They built a community here. What does their community say? Now, if you don't like it, you better get your ass on the bus and get out. At least
get going.
Be open to it. I think travel and exposure to one another really does sort of like lessen the tensions. The tensions may still be there, but it mitigates them. Like get to know people like in their communities. Like you don't judge them how they're doing things. Maybe learn something. Maybe if you have something to offer to teach, if they ask, like, oh, I'm so glad you asked. Okay, you need to comb your hair. Number one.
Now I tell you one thing: learning anything in French was not on my bingo board for 2026. However, uh, I need to learn something.
Paris,
Where's
France.
the bathroom?
Uh-huh.
How much is this? How
Okay.
do I order my food? How do I get where I'm going? I need some basic words. So we're gonna uh, pull up some lessons and
Duolingo.
see exactly
Duolingo.
duo, babble, whatever, whoever we
All
do
of it.
all of it. See what we can learn,
I'm telling you, the only thing I remember
so
from
that we are not ignorant walking into somebody else's house.
exactly, and it's and I always think about that. The most humble travel. This is what 5 6 years ago when I went to Tokyo for 2 weeks. Now I ain't no Nan Stitch. I couldn't read none of the scribbling and the signs and all that other good stuff. So it's like you really knew how to act then because it's talk about not being able to communicate with anybody, but what a wonderful like immersion into seeing how like another part of the world lives and just seeing how they drive on the wrong side of the road. I didn't know that. Almost got
Right,
hit by
wrong. It's wrong to us. Same with London, right?
they
Same
got
with
it all
London.
wrong.
Wrong. What you
If
doing
it
over
ain't
there?
US.
What are you doing over there?
Yeah, but it's just like, yeah, let's learn to communicate with each other. Let's learn to, I mean, just embrace the differences. Like, none of us have a choice of who we came here to be, but we do have, like, we have ultimate control of what we turn out to be
Ooh, I
and how.
love that. I love that. I
So,
love that.
don't
We
let
didn't
no,
have a choice in who we came here to be, but we have ultimate control over who we turn out.
yeah, yeah. And hopefully you can make yourself proud at the end of the day. Shit.
Bars.
Instead of trying to please everybody else, if I'm pleased with the work that I've done, you're welcome.
Google me.
It is such an awful, arrogant statement, but somebody told me that one day. I'm like, you know what? Was cute. That was cute. Okay,
I'm gonna
so
keep it. I'm gonna keep it.
when
I love it.
start
Well,
them mess,
thank you so much. Y'all don't know, but we booked this months ago.
yeah,
I'm early. I'm early. I'm like, I know what I want to do in June. I know what I want to talk about. Yes. Thank you
absolutely.
so much for
Thank
taking
you.
taking your time out to sit with me.
Mhm. Thank you for even having me and thinking I would be in any way helpful in this uh, talk about mental health. And the more I prepared for it, I was just like, wow, there were some things that like brought tears to my eyes. There were some things that brought tears to my eyes. So um, appreciate your journey. It's been a lot harder than some of us think it has been. Go back and like appreciate where you are today. It may
Thank
not be where you want to be, but keep going, baby. So,
you.
all right, we will see you. Thank you for having me.
I will see you in a minute.
Uh,
Thank you. And I'm going to tell them bye. And we will see you all back here in July. July is actually Minority Mental Health Month. And I have something completely different for you. It's not what you think, something completely different. But
all
I'll
right.
see you all next month.
Bye.
Bye.